Yeah, hello and welcome to another update video about FET. Seems like we have a rather friendly day today in crypto, at least. We're not... the US stock market isn't open yet and it's still sort of early, but we start to see some green candles. We're, at the moment in a situation in which most of these coins could make one more low, but we're very close to the end of the correction, in my opinion. And I think it's reasonable to start layering in a bit, unless you started already. I did already start a little higher and now bought again FET, because it's like either the bull market breaks here or we go to the moon. Basically, it's now at this point where the correction could be complete. Okay, maybe one more low, and if it forms more than one more low, then it's gonna break, and then we have to plan anyway. But it's best to look for positions at these pivots, these key levels, these key ranges where we know when they break, oh, the overall assumption is changing, right? It's going to be interesting. So obviously we have the same situation as yesterday. So we have an ABC structure, or maybe the wave 4 is already in, then probably as a WXY pattern, something that cannot really be predicted. But I'm very cautious very much aware that the correction could be over, because Bitcoin has struck a low yesterday. And if you watched my Bitcoin video, then you know that, well, it's now the first time that I say, okay, the low could really be in for Bitcoin, it could always be in, but it's more like now we actually have a nice structure. Okay, so in my opinion, that increases probabilities, but could still go a bit lower. And then that's why we want to deal with that uncertainty with sound trading tactics. So it's like buying in tranches, not necessarily all in. It's typically, from a strategic point of view, in my opinion, reasonable to, in the decline, be small with positions. Yeah, so you don't really care if they go lower, but at least you have a foot in the door. And if it's then clear that we go up, then going in more aggressively potentially, right? The only way to go in more aggressively now, in my opinion, is to set a stop below the last low. But we need to give these coins a bit of space. You know that. We have to give them a bit of space. You don't want to be stopped out and then it suddenly rallies. It's the strategy that works for most people, in my opinion. But just be aware that with a break below $1.28, we will likely break. Okay, so that's the key level for me to watch. But because we have an ABC structure basically complete, maybe one more low, but sometimes we don't get these last lows. I think it's reasonable at least to look at entries in this zone. Obviously, if you do that, that's up to you. But that's why I'm offering these Fibonacci support zones, because I know that there's a good likelihood. Now, I don't know if they will turn, but I know there's a good likelihood that in this range here, the price will turn and start wave 5. Now, I could still take the lower probability path, which would be a break below 128, and then we're probably heading back into a bear market, or at least a much larger ABC structure is forming, or at least the chart will become very uncertain. But for now, this is a nice corrective structure that took enough time to complete, and maybe it gets another low, and then probably at 158 it will test that level and might then try to start wave 5. And then wave 5 could get to 472 next, maybe higher, but that would be the next main target. Maybe higher, and if it goes higher, then the next level above would be 572 or 631. We can always try to specify the target further. We can do that now that we have possibly a low in place, which I'm not going to confirm until I see further evidence. But in addition to that, we can take the length of waves 1 to 3. That's just a different way of measuring the target, in addition to those that we already have. But we can only use this method once we have an early indication that some kind of a low is in place. And I don't have that indication yet, but still, something to work, that's absolutely in the realm of possibilities, but that wouldn't change much. We talk here about $5.03. So I will leave that level actually on the chart, but might have to change that if the price makes another low. But that gives us a good resistance range, target range around 472 to $5.03 next. There could also be some resistance at 372, but let me just double check that. No, hold on, I need to take that out because that was a previous measurement. No, it's 472 remains key, and then $5.03, and then 631 to the upside. Yeah, And if we really dive into the micro pattern here, you can see that first of all, the initial resistance needs to break. I mean, at the moment, the chart, other than a green candle that rallied in 3 waves, we haven't seen much. It's possible that we are still working here on a C wave down in this wave 5 of C of 4. Okay, but basically this 5th wave is part of an ending diagonal pattern. And we have ABC in wave 1, we have an ABC in wave 3, we have an ABC in wave 5, and that could still go a bit lower. As I said, unless we have a WXY pattern. I mean, these coins are too correlated with Bitcoin. They all move in their individual waves, but still, they are too correlated with Bitcoin to say, okay, it has to do the C wave down, right, or the last wave down. Can always bottom in a WXY if Bitcoin decides to go, you know, these coins, we've been now in 4 months of correction. And we'll see how it's going to be interesting. It's an interesting week anyway with the halving and everything. So it's going to be volatile. It's going to be volatile. So I'll keep you updated. I don't think there's anything else we can add here. So the resistance area that needs to be overcome stretches all the way up to 250. So that's the next target for the bulls to get above that level. First of all, take out the previous swing high, which is labeled as wave 4 at 238, and then here the 250 level. That's my update about FET. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.